Yo, what's good, Art Capital? Today we're going to be going over our Sunday prep class for the week of April 6th through 10th, 2026. We're going to be giving a little recap on last week's closes, going over geopolitical macro alerts, economical calendar, Fed speakers, and earnings for the week, and how we're going to be postured going into this week. As you guys know, there was a lot of news over the weekend, so I'll get into that here promptly. So going into what happened of last week, a couple closes on the stocks that we look at. SPY closed at 655.83. QQQ closed at 584.98. Nvidia closed at 177.39. AMD closed at 217.50. Palantir closed at 158.56, and Tesla closed at 360.59. VIX also closed at 2387. That is very, very nice going into Friday close. But with the news that we got over the weekend, we may easily see a spike over 25, probably off the rip. It'll probably open up around 27 or something. As of right now, where the VIX is, it's below 25, which is valid for ARC trading setups. So the posture heading into the week. The weekly clouds on SPY, QQQ, Nvidia, and Palantir are green, and they're expanding to the downside. Longer term trend is still intact. Daily clouds still red and contracting on most names. Price bounce, but structure is not fully confirmed bullish. Bottom line, wait for confirmation environment. Valid setups can form, but the checklist must hit, right? With the news that happened over the weekend, a lot of the stuff can get invalidated, but from what we're seeing, a couple of these stocks like SNDK, MU, MSTR, there is some strength going into after hours here. There's definitely some buying. Overall, SPY and QQ are down, right? So just something to keep in mind. Market opens tomorrow. Add some weekend. This is a weekend macro alert. Geopolitical risk. Know before you trade this, right? So Trump basically weekend issued an escalating ultimatum to Iran regarding the Hormuz Strait, one of the most critical oil shipping choke points. Trump stated a 48-hour deadline and threatened direct military action against Iranian infrastructure, including power plants and bridges. What does this mean for the market? Energy prices could spike Monday open. Off risk sentiment possible. VIX may gap up. This is not noise. This is a black swan risk event going into the week, right? So lining up those 48 hours, I'm pretty sure that lines up with 10 ST tomorrow. So 35 minutes into the market, guys. Know if there's going to be an ultimatum or not, right? We're going to find out what's going to be happening with Iran. So what does that tell you guys going into tomorrow? You're probably going to want to sit out until after 10:05, right? Come on, guys. This is pretty simple. Work rule reminder, if VIX spikes above 25 at the open, reduce your size. If it's above 30, sit out entirely. Always check VIX at 9:30 a.m. Always wait for 10 a.m. before entering. Geopolitical events can equal elevated risk, right? So with Trump, crazy over the weekend, and if you guys seen the Truth Social tweet, it's pretty crazy. I can't lie, I didn't throw it up here. I was going to, but was going crazy on his app over the weekend, basically just threatening Iran, right? So going forward here for the economical calendar, on Monday, we also have ISM services at 10 a.m. So 5 minutes before that Trump news that we're going to get, we have ISM services. Why this matters for your trades: ISM services tracks activity in the service sector, so stuff like restaurants, finance, healthcare, most of the U.S. economy. A reading above 50 equals expansion. The forecast of 55.4% is healthy, but below last month's 56.1%. So markets will watch for a surprise. If this number beats, this is a bullish signal for SPY and QQ at the moment. At the open. If they miss badly, watch for red, right? So we already have a couple catalysts lining up and things that we're looking out for in the morning to give us that guidance. So anything above 50 can equal expansion, and anything above previous 56.1 can, really good news. But then we have the contradicting news. Let's say they do come to an ultimatum. That would be double bullish confluence, guys, right? So Don't let think that this could just be like worst case scenario, everything's going to dump. There could be sort of massive pump. Things do line up for a reason. I don't think anything is a coincidence in the market. So just be very aware tomorrow. I know there's going to be a lot of people on the sidelines and then a lot of people also playing it, but I just be aware what this news is saying. Oh, Johnny just threw the tweet in there if anyone wants to read that. Here going forward, Tuesday, April 7th, we have some economical reports and Fed speakers. Before the market opens at 8:30, we have durable good orders and durable good minus transportation. Then at 12:35, we have Chicago Fed Pres Austin Goolsbee speaking, right? Then at 3, we have consumer credit. And at 5:50 p.m., we have another Fed Vice Chair Philip Jefferson speaking. Why this matters: durable good orders show factory demand. A negative number suggests businesses are pulling back on big purchases. 2 Fed speakers on Tuesday equals potential surprise comments on rates and tariffs. Goolsbee and Jefferson can move markets midday. Stay alert for 12:30. So not only do we have a lot of news coming out on Monday morning, we have a lot of news coming out throughout the day, right? Midday during that lunchtime, we do have a Fed speaker talking, right? And then 1 hour before the market closes, we have consumer credit. So just some things to keep in mind, right? So going into Wednesday here, we have a couple Fed speakers and we have FOMC minutes. So consider this a high volatility day, right? It's not going to be the same volatility that you would see at an actual FOMC meeting. The minutes is just basically a sum up of the previous meeting, right? So anything said could still move the market, right? Treat like an earnings day. Heighted is our speaker is going to be at 1:05 p.m. and then at 2 p.m. we have that minutes of May FOMC meeting getting released. Why does this matter? FOMC minutes are the detailed notes from the Fed's last meeting. Markets will scan every word for rate cut hints. So rule: the 2 p.m. release will spike VIX. Do not have open trades into 2 p.m. unless you're sized appropriately. Mary Daly at 1:05 p.m. May also move the markets ahead of minutes dropping, right? Yeah, bro, wow. MU is absolutely ripping. Same with SNDK. Okay, let's get back into here. Okay, so Thursday is April 9th. It's going to be a heavy data day. We have PCE, GDP, and jobless claims. Most of this news is all before the market opens. So at 8:30, you have personal income, personal spending, PCE index, PCE year over year, core index over year, GDP for second revision for quarter 4, and then initial jobless claims all at 8:30. So expect some movement in the pre-market on Thursday. And then at 10 a.m. we have wholesale inventory. PCE is the Fed's primary inflation gauge. Core PCE year over year at 3% is above target. Watch for a surprise versus the forecast. And then Friday here we have CPI. So the biggest number of the week. CPI is the highest impact data release of this week. Markets will react hard. Manage size going into Friday. So at 8:30, we have CPI. Wait, did I call it something else? All right. We have CPI for March. CPI year over year, core CPI. All that, guys, right? So before the market opens, going into that Thursday, if you're swinging anything, just be aware that there will be some volatility in that pre-market. Then at 10 a.m. you have factory orders for February and also consumer prelim for April. So CPI year over year forecast is 3.3%, which is up from the prior 2.4%. Core CPI sticky, hot numbers equals risk off, cool numbers equals rally fuel. Both SPY and QQ will react violently at 8:30, so just once again keep that in mind for anyone who has swings going into Thursday. Going from Thursday into Friday. Going over earnings for the week, we don't have a lot. Well, obviously there's a lot here on the screen, but we don't have a lot throughout the week, right? So Monday we don't have any earnings. Tuesday, I'm pretty sure we just have a couple earnings on Tuesday, but it's mostly after the market closes. So going over everything that's before the market open here. Tuesday we have IQST. Wednesday we have Delta Airlines. Yeah, Evo, not stuff we really trade. Then Thursday, before the market opens, you have BlackBerry, Simple, Good Foods, Neogen Corp, BYNR or RN, and on Friday you have Lot. So nothing that we really trade, nothing that I'm gonna really be keeping an eye on here. All aftermarket. On Tuesday we have AEHR, which I know a couple people were keeping an eye on going into this week. Also GBX, have Levi, Kura Sushi, Skill, XL, Phoenix Education, a blockchain, which is APLD, which a couple of our students here and a couple of analysts were trading last week and the week beforehand. So going to be interested in asking a couple of our analysts what they're thinking with APLD going into this week. Nothing else we really trade here, guys. Nothing else that we trade here. So kind of with more economical data centered, a lot of news happening, guys. So it's gonna be another one of those weeks where it's kind of just there will be opportunity on that day-to-day basis, but it's going to be better to kind of be kind of weak. Anyone to blow up or go on tilt. Or feel like their results are because of how they're trading. You got to remember that when you're trading in a market like this, you always vary. So just be aware. Check your. Always be on top of VIX, guys. VIX is really going to be able to help and guide you through this indecisive market. So key watch is going to be Delta Airlines, which is on Wednesday before market open. Airline sector check. TZ market closes. Consumer staple. In tariff environment. So going in our ARC market posture, name by name, once again at that 2387 level, below 25, but we are expecting it to be elevated, especially with all the news coming out 35 minutes into the market. So always check for a valid setup environment, and a checklist is required no matter what. Going into SPY, like we said, the close was at 683. So right now we're cautiously bullish on SPY. Watch for the daily cloud to flip green midweek. This equals some conviction signals. If you guys seen on the chart with the clouds, we are coming back into the zone. So if we can see some good news, maybe a deal with Trump and Iran, and let's say some good numbers coming in, we could see a nice bounce, guys. It's a picture. It's just we need to see what's thrown at us and go with it. So going forward here for two, closed at 584.98. This also SPY. So if SPY goes, QQQ goes. Wait for SPY to lead. Nvidia at 77.39. This was the leader on my watch. Strongest semi, worth watching for continuation. We had a really nice day and just really nice week of holding with a lot of things going down here. So next one on the daily, looking at AMD, we closed at 217.50. This is not a setup yet. This is the weakest name. So wait for price to reclaim the cloud on that weekly. Palantir here, resilient, clean structure. Market cooperates. Palantir can move. And Tesla is uncertain. So out of all the closes that we had on Friday, Tesla was probably one of the ugliest ones. While everything was kind of recuperating on Friday, Tesla just seemed to get a hold of it, right? So that gap at 385.95 and above, but our first support to the downside is going to be 352.14. Let's wait and see what's going to happen, guys. It's looking pretty ugly for Tesla. I'm not going to lie, guys, right? So what you guys should know going into Monday, VIX is below 25 at the moment, right? But can always come and spike back up in those first 30 minutes. So as long as we stay below that, setups are valid. Checklist, right? So don't just swing because VIX is green. AMD and Tesla are not in confirmed setups. Prices below cloud on both of them. Stay patient on those two. Nvidia and Palantir are going to be on my watch. Cleanest structure if you're looking midweek. And wait 10 a.m. always, no exception, guys. Right? If anyone swung MU with Rich, you're probably smiling. Hello, look at that thing right up at 377.50 here. Just moving very nicely with S&DK. It's looking like these memory stocks are definitely seeing a nice move here. But that's this week. These are my notes, so read these before Monday open. Geopolitical risk is real this week, so the Iran and Trump ultimatum could move energy and risk assets violently at Monday open. Check VIX before you do anything. Wednesday FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. is a market moving event. I'm treating it like an earnings day. Be in positions you're comfortable holding or get flat before 2 p.m. Friday CPI is the biggest data release of this week. CPI year over year at 3.3% forecast, up from that previous 2.4%, tells you inflation is being watched very closely. This will move the market hard at 8:30 a.m. So if you're swinging anything from Thursday going into Friday, just be aware of that. Position yourself. VIX being 25, setups are valid going in, but remember, valid doesn't mean automatic. Hit the full mark checklist before every entry, guys. Just make sure that you're validating your trades, seeing if it truly is a high probable setup, right? So Nvidia and Palantir are the leaders this week structurally. If market is cooperating, those are your cleanest setups midweek, right? So going into the middle of the week, not as soon as market opens on Monday, guys, right? AMD and Tesla, stay patient, wait for the cloud to reclaim. 10 a.m. rule is non-negotiable, especially with all the data and headlines this week. Let the market show you the direction first. Okay, guys? So it is going to be it for our market recap here. I don't know, Rich, are you here? Can you hear me, brother? Let me know if you can hear me. Yeah, how you feeling with that MU swing, my boy?
Oh man, I mean, listen, we old men. I'm gonna be smiling at the old man. Maybe I close it, I tip off. I don't know. We got MBiz as well too, but but right now we gave it. I mean, listen, knew that these sectors are strong while the whole market's getting absolutely smacked. What's gonna happen when things start to bounce, right? Now, there's a lot of uncertainty still in this market. A lot of uncertainty. So that is a very, very big red flag, especially with the war going on and really everything that happened this weekend. No bueno. I was reading a lot of things on Twitter, and things were it's escalating. Things are escalating. Tensions are rising. Things are getting very uncertain. And what does the market like? I mean, what does the market hate? Uncertainty. So let SPY continue to start to unwind back down 36.28, and absolutely is that the it doesn't seem like that's happening right now, but maybe that happens after Tuesday, right? We now have a, I guess you can say, deadline in the Trump is out on Tuesday if they make a decision or whatever. So that could be something that we need to acknowledge as a day traders, right? Because things we could have, let's say we have clean price action and then Tuesday happens, no deal, the market's gap down the next, overnight, market's gap down and picks up again. So that could potentially happen. Um, I still we're in a crazy environment. Regardless what M does, I still think it's the smartest idea to sell. Just like get some profits and whenever you're taking a shot and it hits, you have to, in my opinion, take those profits, man. Even if it continues to run, it doesn't matter. We're not in the market. We're in the market that we can catch a nice 100, 200% if we're right. But we're also in the market that one tweet can come out, one headline comes out, and everything changes, right? So you regardless have to be okay with the wins, whatever the win is. If you take it at 30% and it goes 100%, you can't be mad. If you take it 100% and it goes 300, 400%, you can't be mad. You have to be okay with it. So that's kind of what I have going into the week. The watch list that I'm watching going into this week. So you don't think I should hold MU the whole week? Absolutely not. No, we catch a nice gap up. If we're catching gap up, right? We take it off the open, in my opinion, and buy the retest. Profits. That's how you don't blow up. That's how you continue to stay in, but also be responsible about the overall trade.
I was
Right.
gonna
So let's say
I was gonna say, I mean, especially in a market like this where we have so much news coming out, we definitely could see some profit taking on anyone who swung on those stocks. So get those retests is like just as gains, Danny.
But yeah, bro, and this one I'm putting right here, right now. The top watches that I have really going into this week, and they are more They're all speculative names, right? We have watches where all the volume is. We have the memory stocks, MU, SNDK, STX, WDC. We have the photonic stocks, and now, guys, these are new stocks that we've been watching for the last month, 2 months, and since the year started, and these are the ones that are performing. Low market cap, a lot of room for growth, and a clear demand. The story behind these is just as strong as the story behind the memory. So that being said, there's a lot of opportunity in these stocks. So memory, we know that there's a big bottleneck on the supply. This is where all the money is, right? We know that earnings are going to grow. The demand is super high. Whatever is super valid and super strong. It's the same deal with these photonic stocks, AAOI, Light, LITE, COHR. That's one that I don't even think I put on. Hold on, let me put that on. All right. So that's knowing that the themes are strong and the dips are being bought up, especially in this crazy market that we're in. This is we need to be watching, in my opinion. Yes, things absolutely unwind. Yes, these are super volatile names, but if we catch it in the right direction and all the flow and everything, all the like the theme to stay strong, which it is, if the AI race is going to continue and whatever, then these stocks can absolutely continue to run. And anytime that we see a bounce in the market, these stocks are going to have the biggest bounces, the biggest upside reactions because just the fact of their strength alone. Look at stocks like Google, look at stocks like Amazon, look at stocks like other ones. They're getting beat down 40% more from the highs, 50% from the highs, 30% from the highs, where stocks in the memory sector and the names are still sitting right under the highs. Strength like this in a market like this is we need to note. That's why we keep looking at these same names over and over and over and over and over again. On top of that, oh, let me put in data centers as well, NBIS, because we are swinging in NBIS. We have the centers, NBIS, CoreWeave, Oracle, Iron, Cipher. So that's really the watch that I'm going to be watching for the week. Going to be talking more about it going into the pre-market with Rich and everything. But yeah, nailed everything right there.
Where did he throw the watch list in? Did he throw the NBIS and all that in here as well?
Yeah, I just resent it right there. I just edited it. So yeah, a lot of setups, guys, a lot of things are oversold, so the bounces can be absolutely validated, but also whatever headline comes out can absolutely tank spot. War tensions and everything like that are no good. So there's a lot of stuff that we still need to stay vigilant of, stay alert, and be ready to react. Still, the market to be sized down, not the market to go too aggressive. The market to take your shots, but not go, confident because and change it all. So just go into the week understanding that, knowing that, and listen, guys, I'm at a fucking fucking shout out right now, man. I'm about to eat some steak, drink another beer, have a good time, have a nice rest of the night, so I can get back home and get that pre-market with Rich early for you guys. So I'm gonna hear that's pretty much everything right there. And much love, everybody. Thank you guys for listening to the Yap session. And let's see it in fucking pre-market with Rich. Let's run it up tomorrow. Free call just because of MU, man. Free call just because of MU. We dub it halfway through the day and go to the premium only because that's the premium. Even though the premium members are absolutely killing the game right now, everybody is staying sharp, staying on point, not blowing up, not taking stupid trades. A lot of people are sitting out when last year at this time they would have been fucking taking every random ass trade and potentially losing money, whatever. So everybody's making huge progress. Shout out to all the premium members and shout out to all the premium members who are killing it right now. Shout out to all the ones who are staying disciplined. And shout out to everybody in here who's in the call, man. Angel, I think that's everything I have to say.
Yes, sir. I mean, that wraps everything up. We went over everything for the week. Hello.
Hey,
Yeah.
Roof. Hold
Yeah,
on.
man.
Come on, look at that
That's
cardboard box
yeah.
on top.
Yo, why y'all cooking with cardboard on top? What is that?
Just to keep in there, give it a little more flavor. We ain't have nothing to put it over. We ain't have no tinfoil, so I put the
Cardboard
box on there.
flavor.
Fuck it. A little cardboard flavor, a little box flavor.
Well, besides that, guys, I mean that pretty much wraps up this night. I hope everyone had a great Easter. Ended with some Sunday prayer here. Going into this week, guys, we know that there's a lot of news, a lot of stuff happening in the world, so let's just get right. So I'll just get right into it, guys. Dear Heavenly Father, I'd just like to thank you, Lord, for everyone on this call here listening tonight. I just ask you to continue to guide us and protect us throughout, Lord. We know that there's a lot of war happening in this world, so I just ask for peace and just clear direction in this market, Lord. Show us the opportunity and just continue to give us the confidence to be able to execute and in a market so indecisive. I just also want to thank you for everything that you've done for us. I thank you also for Rich and the rest of the team for always being so dedicated and hopping on even if they're out of the country. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, glory to you, God. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.